Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels, and yes, we are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But first, the usual disclaimers. You are going to see the link to this report right there in the description box, alongside the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shots campaign, including Autistic Koya's massive archive on the subject, the tin plates, you know the drill. Sign your name, click on your senator, and the ever-present and self-explanatory Change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. Now, folks, when we talk about the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones, alright? It is 5:01 in the afternoon, folks. I wasn't working, but I am exhausted because I've spent the entire day cleaning. With proper cleaning things. Lysol wipes, Pledge wipes, the works. I went to town today. So if I stumble over any of my words, my apologies in advance, alright? Okay, so we're going back to where we left off earlier this morning. Variations on the techniques occur. Oh, I'm sure they do. For example, pinches may be designated for application in a variety of ways, with the fingernails or with a rolling motion. In other words, it's perfectly fine if they cut into the skin. But, there would be hell to pay, even in 1979, if they did that to a regular student. And believe me, some of those students could get rather bad behaviors. I'm not saying anyone's name. My brother. Whew. Sinuses. They may be applied to the sole of the foot, to the back of the hand, or to the buttocks. More than one pinch may be the consequence for a certain behavior. Further adversities may be combined. For example, a serious offense biting others. One New York student receives 10 spanks on the buttocks, 10 rolling pinches on the arm, a cool shower, and a timeout, and a helmet with vision restricted and white noise to make mask sounds. Ever think maybe he's biting people because you people produce these behaviors out of these kids? You work them 24/7. You give them no leisure or break time. How any kid you put under that schedule is gonna react. And it's not going to be pleasurable, I promise you that. But I love this. Their actions create the behaviors, right? And then they punish the behaviors. How does this make coherent, logical sense to anyone? It teaches them not how to do it. Really? How? How exactly? Really? Parents must sign permission so that BRI may administer these consequences. I think those parents need a serious talking to, and maybe someone to backhand them with a little bit of reality. At the signing, parents are notified that such treatment may cause bruising and subsequent skin discoloration. Any parent, any fucking parent that hears that talk, and hears the talk of bruising, and they still agree to it, does not deserve to be a parent. I'm just going to say it. Although written permissions indicate that parents will be notified of any injuries, the assistant to the director indicates that this means only unusual injuries. Routine bruising is not reported to parents. Think about this, folks. Parents are giving permission for their kids to literally be bruised and hurt by these people. Think about that. Makes you wonder what the hell they think is unusual injuries. Alright, give me just a moment, folks. Never mind. Looks like a telemarketer. No signed permissions were noted in the files for this newer adversive methods, the timeout helmet with blocked vision and masked hearing, and the use of the ammonia pellet to the nose. Gee, I wonder why. One final discrepancy was noticed in the signed permissions in the application of the adversive consequences. The permission for water squirt indicates that the water will be sprayed on a child's forehead, and that a child will wear a plastic smock during this treatment so that he and his clothing will not become wet. He must also be dried periodically. Without exception, observed water sprays were applied to the cheek. No child wore a plastic smock, and no child was dried even after repeated spraying. Yeah, who does that surprise? Who does that surprise? Anybody? Anybody? We're going to keep this relatively short this evening, folks, but let's talk about this here. When you are a school and you are explaining that the child is going to be bruised, there's going to be marks and breaks in the skin. What kind of fucking sick human being are you that you didn't still sign your kid up for this school? I don't care if they're the only school that will take your kid or not. That should be a deal breaker, folks. That should always be a deal breaker. You know what I'm saying? It is ridiculous that parents must accept harm to their child and explain it a way that they're helping with behaviors when there is a logical, non-harmful way to deal with all of these things. It's called what triggers the behavior. And it also makes me wonder, do they tell the parents that they actually deliberately trigger those exact behaviors to then punish them? Do the parents know that? I think they probably don't. And on that note, folks, I'm going to close out for tonight. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So, folks, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this evening. As always, we here at Smelling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.